Going to install the CARABC 12-inch screen upgrade for the 2020 F150 today. As you can see here, the new kit comes with everything you're going to need, including the new climate cluster, the large screen here. As you can see, a lot of stuff already hooked up. Turn it around here, and there it is, the 12-inch screen. Bring your 2015 to 2020 F150 up to the more modern screens. My system is going to be retaining its Sync 3.4 system so that all of the factory functions will remain as they are currently right now. You can see it comes with everything you need. New lower vent panels, all the wiring, even comes with these little plastic removal tools to take everything out. New gauges, block plate for the sync system, so that all you have to do is remove every. So we've gone ahead and got to jump on this, guys. If you don't know how to take any of this stuff off or remove this, there's tons of videos on YouTube here that can show you how to get to this point. But basically, you're gonna slowly pop this off. You don't have to remove the screws in the back. You can just simply lift this portion up and get to everything that you need to here. Remove your two screws at the top. Your face screen comes off. Everything else just kind of snaps off. One big thing is you do have to get in here and remove this tray right here. Simply pulls up, pulls away from the truck. Then you do have to drop this into neutral in order to remove it completely to gain access here. But next, what we're going to go ahead and do is going to start removing our current 8-inch screen, get that taken out. Once that's taken out, then we can move on from there and finish completing the install. So just some 7-inch or 7mm nuts and bolts right there. The screen will come out. Flip it over, and you can start removing all your wiring from here. You've got your antenna wire up top here, kind of hard to get to and see. There's a clip right on here. Hang on. There it is. You can see just a clip right there. You just have to press in. Same thing, remove your other plug here, press in, and then the final plug for your system. Actually, one of the nicer ones. You push down on this centerpiece right here, pull your lever back as so, and then that pops right on out. And that's it. We can pretty much go back to the bench here, start moving over parts and picking up with the install. All right, here we go. Once you've got this out, you're going to go ahead and pop out your buttons at the top there. Remove your auto start, stop, hazard, hill descent, traction control buttons from the top. Go ahead and remove those. What we do need off of this here is we need our climate control. As I showed you guys, they send over both types of climate control replacements. This is going to be the one that's for ours, the manual control there. So what we do is go ahead and take that, flip that over. There's a series of T10 bolts here, or nuts, screws here. We're going to go ahead and take those screws out to gain access to the end of that. So here's all your T10s that you're going to need to remove in order to remove this piece. Remove all of those. This cover just pretty much lifts off there. We can set that to the side. And here's the piece that we're after here. We're going to have to take these out. Now here's one thing we need to be careful about is when we remove and pull these ribbons off. These can break, so you need to be very careful with those ribbons. What I like to do before you undo any of this stuff, come over to the front, make sure that your max AC is all the way back set there. Obviously your fan speed doesn't really have a one setting without it being plugged into the truck, but may want to go ahead and double check and make sure everything is back to those settings on your knobs there, so that when we get ready to transfer everything over, you don't have any issues. Years ago, we did take this out and paint match it to the color of the truck, and it was one of the issues that we ran into there. So next we're going to go ahead and continue to remove 10 T10s. We're going to remove these 4 screws here in these locations so that we can begin to pull that off. Once you've got those screws out, this is now free. Go ahead and remove these 4 T10s here so we can go ahead and remove this. As you can see from the back of the CARABC kit, you will need those knobs as well as the circuit board for your radio controls. Alright, once you remove those circuit boards, kind of set them aside. Go ahead and remove all your knobs. I just kind of lay them out here so I know what's what when I'm looking at this. The back of your current plate should look something like that with everything removed. Now that that's done, we can go ahead and set that out of the way, so we no longer need that. Let's go ahead and bring in the 12-inch screen. Hang on one second here. Let me put this over that screen. There we go. Go ahead and bring in your 12-inch screen. Then everything is going to just kind of fall back in place here where it was. Everything's kind of has a line-up pin in there. It should. All your stuff should line up. You can see the pin there, right there, and right there. Excuse me. So go ahead and drop those in. And then your screws, one of the things you guys want to watch out for is they do send you extra screws for all of this stuff within the kit, and it does tell you which one goes to what. And you see here's all your extra screws and everything that they've sent with it. My light's kind of bright there if I get that to focus on that. Come on. There we go. You can kind of see how that is labeled there, and then within the instructions over here, they go ahead and tell you which screws you need to put in. So as you can see, when you're putting in here, you're going to use those 3mm by 10s, 4 of those, and so on and so forth. So just double check that. Make sure you're using the right screws for reinstallation of this. Some of these factory ones are a little longer than what they want you used here. Last thing you want to do is put your factory screws back in and blow through the front of your new faceplate there with a nice big hole. So we're going to go ahead and get that stuff screwed in now. Go ahead and screw these in, and then we'll jump back to putting the circuit boards in. There's a good comparison. Hang on, let me dim these lights a little bit. It's getting really bad whitewash on that. Anyway, so there you guys can kind of see the comparison. These are the screws they're going to ask you to do. These are the screws that came out of the factory. You can see where if you put that back in there, you're going to cause yourself some problems with the factory plastic. So once you get those factory ones out, ensure that you're using the screws that they've sent you. These, like I said, those are much smaller in order to go in those particular spots. So now that we've got this out, the knobs are in. They're correct in their placement, right where they're supposed to be, right side up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to lay our circuit boards back in and get those screwed in there. There we go. Pretty simple. One thing I will say is, guys, keep in mind that this is a circuit board, right? It's not a very rigid piece. Ensure that you tighten this down equally with equal pressure all over. Make sure that you're not using any screws or impact guns or drills or anything like that to put these in. But you can see where you've got your 3mm by 10s here, and then 2 there at the top, kind of where that's going to connect back. Once you get that set, we can carefully set this back out of the way there. We're going to bring in our climate control set and go ahead and get that attached. You can see kind of right there where these are going to screw in. So it's got a nice little ridge across here that's going to mate up with this area here. Just kind of lays in there. You're going to take and connect those screws there. The 2x6 by 10 mils are going to be the ones that you're after here for this. So go ahead and just get that screwed into place. And then we can drop our pieces back in. Again, make sure everything is facing in the right direction. Get our controls there. Go ahead and drop temperature control, or fan, yeah, temperature control. Can't speak. Temperature control. And then our fan speed can go ahead and be dropped in as well. And guys, I apologize, I don't have any fancy editing hardware, so my screw ups and stumbling over my words are just going to get left in there for you. There we go. So you can see, again, alignment pins, everything gets lined up there, right? Take our circuit board, drop it over. There we go. Drop that over. Get everything lined up where it should be, right? And then we're going to use the same 3x10s that we used on this top circuit board. So we're going to use these same screws right here. Again, 4 of them. You can kind of see where their placements are when you look that up, right? They're going to be right around your push buttons on this one. So go ahead and get those dropped in. Those 4 screws are going to go here, here, and here. And then the last thing we can do is each one of your knobs has 2 screws in it here. There and there, and then right there and there. Those are actually going to be the longer set of screws, the 3mm by 16mm. It's going to be these. So once you kind of have all that hooked up, everything is in the right place where it should be. See, that's not right there. Hang on, let's check that. So when you're moving all this around, these little gears can get moved. One of the things you want to make sure you do is check it. So max heat, spin it around, max AC. Just make sure all that's lined back up so that you don't run into any problems right there like I just did. So again, drop these 3x10s back in. Then we're going to throw the 3x16s in, and we'll get this part wrapped up. Now we should look something like that. One thing I did forget to mention is there is a third 3x10 right there. And then on the front, just make sure that you install these rings that come with it around your upper 2 control knobs. Now that we've got that, we're about ready to go back to the truck. I lied. You got to put this cover plate that comes back with it on. So there's a little metal piece here. It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of your small black screws there. 2, 4, 6. And I've given you 1 extra of everything just in case. Just kind of set those to the side in case you need them. So we'll get that cover plate on. Then we can get our mounting plate, which is the last piece here, the mounting plate. We can get that installed back into the truck, and then everything will be ready to go back in. Then the last thing, grab your mount, remove your sync module from the back of this screen here. Now that screen is done. You've got it mounted here. Ensure it goes on the back side because this is going to go into the truck in this fashion here. Then we can go and we can reinstall this. We want to take our wiring harnesses that they've given us here, these 2 wiring harnesses, this piece, and of course our big screen back to the truck with us. All right, so before you install that, you're going to want to make sure that you unplug the cable from the back of your sync system. This cable is going to run up here, plug in here. We'll go ahead and then install that back in there. Once you have those hooked up behind the stereo, you can go ahead and put your block off plate in there and then attach all your wiring back to the back of the new unit. Make sure everything's hooked up. Don't forget to run those wires out the top holes here so that you can hook up your buttons there when you're done. Plug our trailer assist in. That clips into place there. There we go. Everything just kind of snaps back in place. Make sure everything's tight. In your buttons at the top are all pushed in. Just really make sure everything gets clipped in nice and tight. There you go. So, quick little 4-scan change on this thing to make the screen go back to 12 and be wrapped up. There we go. Thanks for watching. Alright, it has been a few days with the truck and the CARABC radio installed. Quick little update. Was able to get the splash screen changed through 4-scan back to the Ford Performance setup. Screen displays full on 12-inch. There at the end of the video from the day install, I was thinking that it was take some 4-scan changes based on some other videos that I had saw. I was actually incorrect. If you take your instructions back out and look, there's some troubleshooting stuff on the back here. It goes over any issues that you might have, such as AC controls or climate control or the screen. What I ended up having to do was the plug right here that actually goes into the back of the APIM. It's kind of an extension there. What I ended up having to do was pull that out, plug and unplug it a couple of times, and just kind of restart the radio via unplugging that and plugging it back in. I actually unplugged it direct from the APIM a couple times. That wasn't really working. So what I ended up doing was disconnecting the factory plug from this harness. And after about 2 times of doing that and then plugging that back in, everything came up and has been working pretty much flawlessly since. Super happy with it. Again, really like the look of it. It's completely updated the inside of the truck, and what it looks like in here. Again, feels like a whole brand new truck now at this point. Got any questions? I can do my best to help you guys figure it out, but definitely check them out.